Uriah ben Israel.
Obadiah ben Israel.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, my deacon. Praise Yahweh once again, allowing us to be under here.
Praise Yahweh.
To teach His word to His people. And as you can see, the elder is not here. We surely miss him, and we hope whatever he's going through, y'all be with him and bring him back to the table next week. So Shabbat Shalom. But as you know, we all about, at the Keepers of the Light, all about doing Yah's work. If one of us is out, then the other two take up the throne, and march with it. So we praise Yahweh, that the gift that He have given this body for us to teach, not just to teach because, we can teach, but to execute His word so, people can understand what's going on. So Shabbat Shalom, to all our guests and our members also. I know, members are going through, their own thing. So we'll pray for them also, that Yahweh be with them, send their angel, for each and every one of them, a speedy recovery. So we praise Yahweh. But let's, go ahead and take care of Yah's business. And who are we? The Keepers of the House of Light are dedicated to spreading the righteousness, love, mercy, and forgiveness of our Father, Yahweh Elohim of hosts, by and through His Son, Yeshua, the Messiah, the Lamb of Yahweh, the King of Israel, the High Priest, and our Redeemer and Savior, whose name be blessed forever. We are here to teach and proclaim the gospel of Yeshua, who magnify the law of Yahweh. And I know we've been reading the book of Judges, and we kind of not stop on one title, but this is to show the relationship, between Israel, and the Most High Yah. What it's like a seesaw puzzle. We fail to do this, so Yahweh stay away from us, because that kind of separate Yahweh from us. So, these are things for us to learn, to know what our fathers went through back in the days. So now, if we do them, we catch on them pretty early and ask Yahweh to forgive us. Because we know Yahweh is our defender at all times, no one else. So the title of today's class is Israel Been Tested in the Land, Part 5. Let me repeat myself. Israel Been Tested in the Land, Part 5. But before we jump, I think we stop at chapter 11. We're going to pick it up at chapter 12 in the book of Judges.
Yes, sir.
And but let's hand it over to the deacon and for him to do the pre-class.
Praise Yahweh.
Yeah, praise Yah.
And Shabbat Shalom again.
Shabbat Shalom.
So today's pre-class reading, we'll be picking it up in the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 6.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to read verses 4 and 5. And this is what we call the Shema. And we know Shema derives from the Hebrew word shamar, which means to hear, to listen, to obey.
That's right.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim is one Adonai. And thou shalt love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Now let's go to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, and we're going to read verses 34 through verse 40, and see how the Mashiach, Yeshua, our Adonai, High Priest and King, how He magnified the law and made it honorable. And we understand that He observed the Shema as well.
Mm-hmm. Praise Yah.
So if He obeyed the Shema and glorified it and magnified it, then we should as well, if we are followers of it, as my elder always states. We're in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 34. But when the Pharisees had heard that He had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yeshua said unto him, Thou shalt love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. So he quoted the Shema.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
if he kept the Shema, then it's straight way he's telling us to do the same.
Yes, sir.
If we claim that we are followers of him.
That's right.
But you notice in verse 34 where he put the Sadducees to silence.
Correct.
You know, not with his own word, but the thing and the word that is written in the Shema.
Correct.
That's
right.
what we need to do. You know, if anyone out there, you know, trying to challenge us, because we're not out there to challenge anyone.
Correct.
You know, we have to do the thing as what the Shema told, or what Yahweh told us to do.
See?
Just provide them with the information needed for their salvation.
That's right.
Any question? Yeah. Will take us a little, you know, a day or two, or maybe the same time to answer the question. It depends, you know, if Yahweh given that spirit to us right away, we'll go ahead and answer it. But you know, to truly indeed, we need to follow the Mashiach footstep, you know, so we can be, you know, righteous before the Most High. Yeah.
Praise Yah. Truly, truly. Let they say, let Yahweh be true and every man be alive.
That's right. That's right, my deacon.
Yes, sir. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
And it also shows that it's one complete story.
Yeah.
Because we, you know, people will separate it and say Old Testament, New Testament, but it's one complete story.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're going to stay in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18. We're going to go to chapter 18, and we're going to read one verse. That's Matthew, chapter 18, and we're going to read verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Praise Yah. And this is what gives us the authority to do what we're doing today. This is the church.
So we're not only doing things, you know, because we want to do it.
No, sir.
You know, we've been authorized through the Mashiach himself to be here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Praise Yah. Praise Yah. We're going to go to one more place, my editor. This is in the prophet Isaiah, chapter 58. And we're going to read verses 13 and 14. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Shabbat, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Shabbat a delight, the holy of Yahweh, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in Yahweh. And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
And that will be the ending of today's pre-class reading.
Praise Yah. But, you know, my deacon, let's take, you know, a closer look at the book of, you know, Isaiah chapter 58, 13 and 14.
Okay.
You know, people would say, you know, you're in this word, say, in a couple of years, you know, 10, 30 years in this word. You know, it's one of the hard things with so many things going on in today's life.
That's right.
You know, to keep focusing on doing the Most High work.
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of distraction out there.
You're so right. You're so right. And
Yeah.
the adversary is busy, always to try to distract us from what it is that we, you know, especially on this day.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to continue to be focused on the work that, I mean, we're going to fall. You don't think, you know, you're too big to fall. Yes, you're going to fall. It doesn't matter how many information you retain from this book. You are going to fall. But, you know, Yahweh is the one that gives you, you know, that spirit to rise again to do the work that he commanded you to do.
Yes, sir.
And it's something, you know, that's why it's so important to read these stories, especially the book of Judges. to see the up and down which Israel go through. You know, so let's continue.
The title sounds monotonous, right?
Yeah.
We're on part 5, but the thing of it is that we still are not understanding that Israel is still being tested.
That's right.
It's a never-ending story.
It's a never-ending story.
Israel is being tested right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about on a level of spiritual warfare. I was talking to Taylor the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling him that I was watching a war movie, and I was saying, I'm watching a soldier, and he's on the front line, and he's going through he's battling the enemy. He got inserted. He got the combatants just all over. They're riding in the Humvee. They're being shot at from snipers. They got shots coming from everywhere.
Every direction.
Right? Every direction. And so I told Maisha, I said, listen, this is the equivalent of what we're dealing with, but it's in a spiritual level.
That's right.
You know, but it's the same thing we're going through.
That's right.
And then the soldier came back and he had PTSD. And I said, this is what we're dealing with. It's spiritual, you know.
Never stop.
It never stops.
It never stops.
You know? And especially now because it's so much going on and the situation is so liquid. You know, there's a lot going on as far as the things that have been prophesied to come upon the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And we see these things come to a pass right now as we speak.
That's right.
You know, we're entering a new age. It's already here. This reset is upon us. Right? This one world order, they would, whether or not America is going to be a part of it, but they're ushering in this one world order.
Of course.
The platform is there, the technology is there, all the distractions are in place to keep us.
That's right.
You know, it's of a spiritual nature, this thing that's coming upon this earth. And so we got our people caught up in a lot of distractions.
Schism and everything else.
Yes, sir.
You know, people are really looking for answers.
Yes, sir.
And we are here, you know, blessed with the Spirit of the Most High to give answers, you know.
Praise
And, you know, one thing I want to say, you know, to our audience also, you know, if they have a title, if you have a title out there, you can submit. You can send it to Facebook or send it. And we will, you know, because a lot of people, they need answers. And we can write a class. Just send a title come. You know, and, you know, maybe you can receive some information out of that title. Something that, you know, been bothering you, you know, for all these years. We're here to give you answers through the Spirit. You know, the Bible is what, you know, provide us with all answers. And that's what we rely on. You know, direction and everything else. Because at some point, you know, we all have to go back to our own land. It's a praise Yah. So we praise Yahweh for these information that, you know, He's given unto us. And again, you know, I hope, you know, our elder, you know, is okay. And, you know, it would be, you know, he can join us, you know, later on in the program or, you know, give us a shout, you know, let us know what's going on. And, you know, so we can continue to bond, you know, and continue to do the work of the Most High. Praise Yah. But anyway, let's get back into the route that we are on, because surely Yahweh has blessed us with this path, you know, for us to go and finish the work that the Mashiach left for us to finish in this area. Is there anything you want to, you know, recap, my deacon?
Well, we last week we read about Jephthah
Mm-hmm.
and the vow that he made, and we were reading about how to do a right thing. It was titled in the book. They called it Jephthah's Awful Vow,
Mm-hmm.
and we were reading about doing the right thing the wrong way. You know, I mean, the man was truly honorable by keeping his word,
Mm-hmm.
but Yahweh never required human sacrifice.
That's right.
So
That's
there
right.
was a confusion in that part there. Yahweh didn't stop him from it, but the children of Israel were participating in all type of paganism and all
That's
stuff
right.
as well. And so, you know, every man did as his right in his own eyes. This is what we're gonna understand that, and this is what's happening today.
Mm-hmm.
Israel had the law, and they had rulers that would come up, judges that were appointed to keep them and guide them and bring them back to Yahweh when they had fell out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, Israel today has teachers that are being brought up to help
Praise
guide them,
Yah.
but it's not judges, military men of that
Stature
or what have you, know, could physically fight off. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
That's
but
right.
spiritual.
That's right.
and mighty to the way it could pull down strongholds. You know, that the adversary has set up on the earth. But, you know, nonetheless, it's a time and place for all things. He said Judah is going to be his battle axe, but it's not. There's a time and place for all things. You know, Yahweh said vengeance is mine as well.
Absolutely.
So we're seeing all these things come together, and we're seeing the spiritual nature of what it is that we're dealing with. It's a never-ending fight. The battle between the flesh and the spirit. And that's what we see. You know, it's a spiritual warfare that they're dealing with. Though they see the physical people, it's not the physical people; it's the spirit that they're wrestling against.
You see, I mean, in this journey, in anyone's journey, trying to get to know what is written in this book, it takes a little time. It takes meditation. It takes prayer. And most of all, you need a teacher. So don't let anyone out there say, "Oh, I don't need a teacher." Push them to the side. You need a teacher.
Truly.
So you can teach you exactly what the word is saying, not to deviate from it. Because sometimes certain things written in this book is hard to discern sometimes. And it need a teacher, to go up and down, ins and out, of what is written here. Some of the things there are not straightforward. So you need a teacher to explain. I know, that what that bring me back to the book of Revelation. We need, we're doing this thing, leading up to the book of Revelation, because we know that period, that lot of 3.5 years is coming. It's going to be terrible. But what's going to happen before, so we need to outline those things also. But let's stick to the book of Jethro, before. And I think we can pick it up whenever you're ready, my deacon. If there's anything more to be, recap, we can pick it up at chapter 12, verse 1.
All right, praise God.
Praise God.
We're in the book of Judges, chapter 12, verse 1. And the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together and went northward, and said unto Jephthah, Wherefore passest thou over to fight against the children of Ammon, and didst not call us to go with thee? We will burn thine house upon thee with fire.
Man, can you imagine? They're threatening, but they are brothers.
Yes, sir.
Because we know that Jephthah is from the tribe of Manasseh.
Correct.
And Ephraim, is, and both of them are from, the lineage of Joseph.
That's right.
So they are brothers.
That's right.
Why would brothers want to, fight against each other? But that's not strange in today's time.
Right.
Our own brother, want to cut our own neck off.
It's true.
Yeah, jealousy. So Yahweh was with this brother. They are jealous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They wanted a piece of it. The same thing, and we read the same thing happened with Gideon.
That's right. That's right.
The men, they wanted, why you didn't let us partake in the battle? But Yahweh, he had 10,000 men with him when he first went up there. He had more than 10,000 men.
Yeah.
And Yahweh said, no, that's too many men. Now they're complaining. They don't know the conversation that he had with
the Most High.
Let him know. Said, no, that's too many men. So they were jealous about the fact that they didn't get to go up and, I guess, get the glory of being able to defeat the enemies. But Yahweh got the glory in all things.
That's right. You know what, Madikan? They want the glory for themselves.
Yes, sir. And Yahweh knew that. That's why he sent away the men.
Yeah. See? That's right.
He said, this is what Israel's going to vaunt themselves and say, we did this.
Yeah.
See? And that's what they did. They attributed it to him and said, look, you went up and did this. Yahweh went before him.
That's right.
That's how he was able to defeat the enemies.
Praise yeah. Praise yeah, man.
Praise
so we see that jealousy, just keep going on, happen to our people.
Yes, sir.
When are we going to stop this jealousy against each other and start working together as one people? Because we cannot return in the land like this.
No, sir.
Too much confusion.
This is why we're here. This is why we're here now. Yes, sir. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 12, verse 2. And Jephthah said unto them, I and my people were at great strife with the children of Ammon. And when I called you, you delivered me not out of their hands. And when I saw that you delivered me not, I put my life in my hands and passed over against the children of Ammon And Yahweh delivered them into my hand. See?
Right, rightfully so.
Yes, sir. Praise Yahweh.
Yeah, you're supposed to deliver Israel out of the enemy's hand.
See?
So why having a beef with me?
See? He gave the glory to Yahweh.
Yeah.
See? And that's what we have to do in all things.
That's right. Praise Yah for it, man.
Praise Yahweh.
Praise Yah.
Latter part of verse 3. And Yahweh delivered them into my hand. Wherefore then are you come up against me? Why are you come up unto me this day to fight against me? Then Jephthah gathered together all the men of Gilead and fought with Ephraim. And the men of Gilead smote Ephraim, because they said, You Gileadites are fugitives of Ephraim among the Ephraimites and among the Manassites.
Okay, so they're like strangers.
See?
You know, oh, you're a fugitive.
See?
You're not from the tribe of Manasseh.
Right.
Because the Gileadites, they are from the tribe of Manasseh.
Correct.
You know, so you're a fugitive.
See?
You're not one of, our people.
And Jephthah went through that same situation because he was born of a different mother. His mother
That's
was
right.
a strange woman, they said.
That's right.
And so his brothers rejected him.
Yeah.
They were like, You ain't going to have no inheritance among us. So they kicked him out. And then the people ended up having to go back. The elders had to go back and get him when they got into war against the other nations that were coming. Their enemies came among them.
That's right.
They had to go beg him for help.
That's right.
So you see the tribal warfare going on.
Never stop.
Yeah. Tribal warfare.
Never stop.
Yes,
Because, what we all need to realize, leadership is not easy.
No.
So don't try jump to be a leader. You have to be careful because a lot given to you, a lot is required of you.
That's right. That's right. It's all right.
Yeah, we need to realize that, and you see and this problem continue even with us today. It never stops, and it's not going to stop.
No. Yahweh said He turned every man's hand against his brother.
That's right.
So Yahweh's allowing these things to go, but we have examples here written showing us what not to do.
That's right.
And how to avoid some of the pitfalls that our fathers went through. But we're no better than, we're not judging our fathers because we're no better than our fathers.
No. The apple don't fall too far away from the tree.
Yes, sir.
So we just have to use these things that is given unto us to make, a better person of ourselves. Be righteous to Yahweh. This is what Yahweh is trying to convey to us, to let us know that, hey, stick with my words, because this is the only thing that is going to save us.
That's right.
Nothing else, nothing more.
Yes, sir.
You maybe fall, but get right back up, and stick in the book.
Praise Him.
Yeah, go ahead, man, Deacon.
We're in the book of Judges, chapter 12, verse 5. And the Gileadites took the passages of Jordan before the Ephraimites, and it was so that when those Ephraimites which were escaped said, Let me go over, that the men of Gilead said unto him, Art thou an Ephraimite? If he said, Nay, then said they unto him, Say now Shibboleth. And he said, Sibboleth, for he could not frame to pronounce it right. Then they took him and slew him at the passages of Jordan, and there fell at the time of the Ephraimites 42,000.
I mean, look, that's a lot of folks. But look in a case like this, it's just like living in different areas. We have different dialect.
Correct.
We are the same folks, and I know sometimes, it's hard. Not really say hard because, when you're from a different area, you spoke one way. I speak one way.
Right.
Okay, so it's hard for you after a couple of years, to say, okay, let me pronounce it the correct way. So that's what happened right here.
Exactly.
I know, if I look back into, Jamaican culture, we failed to pronounce TH. Even myself, even though we know how to spell it, we know how to write it properly. But because of the era, we used to that era, so we pronounce it a certain way. So that's exactly what happened here.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. And I know other sects take this out of context. I think this is one of the so-called passwords that they use for, Totally forget. What do they call it again?
It's a Freemason.
The Freemason.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
sir.
is one of the passwords. If you
Yes,
don't
sir.
know
Mhm.
how to pronounce his word, hey, you can't be a member.
See,
A
a lot of secrets.
lot of secret.
A lot of secrets.
A lot of secret, man. But yeah, you know, we just need to take our own time and listen to each other. You know, don't judge them because they cannot speak like you, because you're from the north or you're from the south. We are all the same people. You know, be considerate and be merciful unto each other. That's what Yahweh want to see in us all.
You're so right. You're so right. Because see, the regathering of Israel is about to take place.
That's right.
We're looking at the second Exodus coming upon his people.
That's right.
You know, I mean, all these things that are happening upon the earth, it's all about the deliverance of Israel.
That's
You
right.
know, a lot of our people are frightened. And like you said, we got to deal with that book of Revelation because it constantly comes up. This is a theme of what's happening right now on the earth. The book of Revelation is like a newspaper explaining what's happening because it's so many different people are fearing so many different things.
I know.
Forward, you know. I mean, I'm constantly seeing articles about the artificial intelligence and a lot of people AI, you know, and a lot of people are worrying about what's to come. And of course, it has its purpose.
Absolutely.
And they have their secular purposes as to what they plan to do with it, and this technology we understand is going to be utilized to replace man as it pertains to maybe with certain jobs, and there's certain secular aspects that they have use for it, right? And it also can be used to control you as they try to
Absolutely.
this control grid. It learns human behavior, so it's going to know your thoughts and all kind of. But you have human intelligence. You understand? You have emotional intelligence.
That's right.
So why is man fearing? They're trying to mimic something. So we're missing the point that Lucifer tries to mimic everything that Yahweh's done.
That's
so
right.
This is who's giving his children power to utilize this technology. So don't fear that. Fear what it is that Yahweh is going to bring upon this earth. These are the things that we need to be focused on, right?
What he said, fear not the man, you know, who can like destroy the body.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
but fear the man, fear the one who can destroy both the body and the soul.
That's right. That's right.
In that respect, you know, you're going to be thrown in the lake of fire.
Correct.
And I mean, look at it. This book been written for so many years.
Correct.
And everything that we need to know is written in this book.
That's right. That's right. All these things before told. All what we see happening now. Because they're showing. You can watch any movie, sci-fi movie, any one of their movies that they show that they're putting chips. You know, we got Elon Musk has a company called Neuralink. He openly tells them they want to put a chip inside of people's brain and store their thoughts,
information,
and emotions, and be able to implant that into a robot.
But you know what? When you read, I mean, nothing. I would say like nothing is wrong with inserting a chip into the human brain if you need help, because it can help the body communicate. You know, so if you're hurt, you know, you need help. That could help you to walk again. It even could help you to see again. You know, because everything pretty much is capable, you know, with the wisdom that the Most High given to mankind to do certain things on this earth. But it's what they use it to do.
Correct.
That is where they went wrong.
Correct. Satan, he truly getting his children because, and that's the thing, it's a physical technology, right, with digital implications. But then there's a spiritual aspect to it.
That's
Because
right.
Lucifer get up into these beasts as the prince of the air, and so these technologies can be used for good, like you say. But then we understand Satan get up into these people, and so they're gonna. It's not just it's the spirit.
That's right.
Of what it is that even put those thoughts into their mind to begin with.
That's
this
right.
is what they want to implant into mankind.
That's right.
It's a servitude to them. And we see this is the ultimate lust for mankind from ancient times for power.
That's right. That's right, my
Just
dear.
wealth. They look at power and control. They lust power and control. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I was looking you know, in think you should go there. Let's read a little bit about it. Let's go to the book of, stick up in where you're at. Isaiah chapter 14.
Praise you.
Because this is what the devil, had a target to do, unto the Most High people on this earth.
Yes, sir.
Because he wanted to make Yahweh a liar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
You want to start at verse 12.
All right.
Pick it up at verse 12. You can take it to 17. That's right.
All right. This is the prophet Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
That's right.
For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
This is its intention.
Yes, sir. Yes,
to
sir.
rise above everything that Yah set forth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And are they doing that?
Absolutely. They are doing it. He have his followers.
See, and so they got a couple more things they got to fulfill. But let's keep reading.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
You see what he want to do?
Yes, sir. So that's his end game. Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Okay. This is what Yahweh has warned us.
Yes, sir.
Even though he's going to use this spiritual, realm or whatever, spiritual gift that had been given to him from creation, it's going to be brought down to the pit. It's going to be thrown in the lake of fire.
That's right.
Yeah, if we go back into the book of Revelation, we see where he and the prophet,
right.
not the prophet, but
False
the false prophet, going to be thrown into the lake of fire.
Yes, sir.
Come to the mind.
Yes, sir, my Lord. Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners?
Continue.
Verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet.
That's okay. Just to give you a simple illustration. I mean, Satan is a spirit, and he cannot work without a vessel.
Correct.
And so he need vessels. He need his followers, which are human beings also, flesh and bone.
See,
to show his work.
Yes, sir.
What he's all about. So praise him.
Praise him. We're back to the book of Judges, chapter 12, right?
Chapter 12.
And we're at verse 7. Verse 7. And Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. Then died Jephthah the Gileadite, and was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. And
praise Yah for his mighty work that Yahweh,
yes, sir.
allow, a human being to save his people. And, looking back on this, especially this book of Judges, these are like different region of Israel. It's not the totality, the 12 tribes to deal with.
Correct.
Okay.
Praise Yah.
Because we know that Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh was on the east side of Jordan.
That's right.
So these are the tribes that Yahweh used Jephthah to free them of their captivity or their oppression.
Praise Yah. Yes, sir. Wow. Verse 8. And after him, Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel. And he had 30 sons and 30 daughters, whom he sent abroad, and took in 30 daughters from abroad for his sons, and he judged Israel 7 years. Then died Ibzan and was buried at Bethlehem.
Praise yeah.
Verse 11. And after him, Elon, a Zebulunite, judged Israel, and he judged Israel 10 years. And Elon the Zebulunite died and was buried in Ajalon in the country of Zebulun.
Mm-hmm.
And after him, Abdon the son of Hillel, a Parathonite, judged Israel. And he had 40 sons and 30 nephews that rode on 70 ass colts. And he judged Israel 8 years. And Abdon the son of Hillel, the Parathonite, died and was buried in Parathon in the land of Ephraim in the mount of the Amalekites.
Praise yeah. Praise yeah. So we see Yahweh use all these different judges in different regions to save his people. Because our people, has returned, back to their old ways. When there's no priest in the land, this is what happened to our people. Yeah. So we have to be very, very careful, when it comes to Yahweh. Don't say, oh man, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I don't have to read this book. I don't have to meditate in this book. We need the word of the Most High. This is the spirit that he has preserved for the children of Israel, for us to use to get back to him. Yeah, we have turned our back, we have closed, our behavior, things that we have done have turned Yahweh away from us.
That's right.
Yeah, so, he gave us all these things. Okay, renew yourself. Renew your spirit. Come to him with the right spirit, and he will surely accept you. But it have to be on his behalf, not on our behalf. Don't come as you are, as what, the pastors always said. Come as you are. No, you have to come as Yahweh prescribed the medication for us.
You're so right, man. In the book in the prophet Isaiah, he confirmed that. In chapter 59.
59?
Yes, sir. If you don't mind, we can read a couple verses from here.
Go ahead, my dear Ken.
He said, just to confirm what you were saying, He says, behold, Yahweh's hand is not short, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear.
Great job.
But your iniquities have separated between you and your Elohim, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies, your tongue has muttered perverseness. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity, and speak lies. They conceive mischief, and bring forth iniquity. They hatch cockatrice eggs, or serpent eggs, and weave the spider's web. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crusheth breaketh out into a viper. Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed innocent blood.
That's right.
Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. Therefore is judgment far from us, neither does justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, for brightness, but we walk in darkness.
That's all true, my dear Ken.
And this is where we are today.
That's right. But the thing about it, what is iniquity?
This is lawlessness.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
It is sin.
Yes, sir.
What is sin? What is the definition of sin?
Transgression of the law.
Transgression of the law.
Yes, sir.
So we cannot get away from it. We cannot get away from Yahweh's law.
So right. Yes, sir.
Trying to remember, Yahweh is merciful. He know that we are flesh. He know that we're going to fall.
That's
but
right.
what you do after the fall?
See, you say we're supposed to repent.
That's absolutely.
Yeah. Yahweh's merciful. So this is the thing, But he's identifying the issue, and he's letting us know this is why I've been separated from you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hiding my face from you. Just like you said, conquer it. You know, and he says, seek me and you shall find.
That's right.
You know.
Praise God.
Praise Him. We're in the book of Judges, and we're going to start chapter 13. And this is going to be dealing with one of the great military men that was raised up, one of the judges. It's the story of Samson.
A beautiful story.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if you look at every Christian or every sect, they love this story because it's a beautiful story.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, it is a love story too. You know, but you know, between Yahweh and His people.
Correct. Praise Yahweh.
Praise Him.
Let's get into this here. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 13, verse 1. And Israel and the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahweh. And Yahweh delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah. And his wife was barren, and bare not. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, Behold now, thou art barren, and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive, and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine, nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive, and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto Elohim from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines.
My deacon.
Yes, sir.
You know, verse 5 is specifically said, for the child shall be a Nazarite, you know, unto Elohim from the womb.
From the womb. Yes, sir. So we got to go back to the law.
We have to go back to the law.
That's right.
You know, so let us know what is a Nazarite, you know. How can you be a Nazarite?
So let's go to we'll let the word speak.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to the book of Numbers, chapter 6, and get some
more understanding.
about it.
Because all answers is written in this book.
Yes, sir.
Believe it or not. Because it is so good to understand, to say if an individual want to take that vow. Because I can remember when I just started in this Israelite thing. Don't know what it's all about. What it was about. And I took a vow. I took a vow, to myself too. And I said, I have to finish this book from cover to cover before I put a razor or drink strong drink. Because, I want to be like, I'm doing it myself. I'm doing it for myself.
Yes, sir.
So let me take that vow without knowing anything about the Nazarite vow.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I was determined. I was reading this book day and night from cover to cover because I want to complete the book.
See, I mean that the word Nazarite, it comes from the Hebrew word Nazir.
That's right.
And it means consecrated.
That's
one
right.
that's separated or consecrated to Elohim for a time, whatever the time it might be.
Time frame you was vowed to your creator.
Yes, sir.
And I think it took me about 3-4 months to read it because I was reading, morning, noon, and night. Yeah.
Diligent.
Yeah, I was like a diligent soldier to the Most High because I want to know, what this book entails. But first of all, for me to discuss this book, I have to read the book. I have to read to see what is inside this book. First, then I start critique everything that is written in this book. So I pray to the Most High, so He kept me this way, for a pretty long while. And even through my fall, He continued to say, no, get back up.
Praise
You have a path that you need to, to follow. Follow this path. So, I praise God for it. It's nothing that I've done on my own, but it's a strength that He not only given me, but you, our elder and other folks out there.
Praise God.
So.
Yeah, because like today, would one be able to take a because some people ask that, can you take a Nazarite vow today?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we read the law
Mm-hmm.
and we see what was required, there was a sacrifice that was required that would have to be offered. So we know there's no temple now.
That's right.
So one wouldn't be able to perform this in the full manner. But in a spiritual aspect, we understand that, yes, we make
You
vows.
do everything through the Mashiach.
That's right.
Yeah, so you don't have to physically go out there to offer.
Correct.
You know what offering you need.
That's right. That's right. That blemish, that unblemished sacrifice.
That's right.
You know,
That's all.
Contrite heart.
You know, yeah, contrite. Yeah, that's right.
Praise Him. Let's read the book of Numbers, chapter 6, and get a little understanding about what the law has to say about the Nazarite vow.
Yeah, pick it up on verse 1.
Okay.
Because we need to understand, completely what is a Nazarite vow.
Praise Him. The book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying,
Mm-hmm.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand that a woman could do this too. See?
Praise yeah.
All right. We put that in the law. He shall drink, verse 3. He shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine, or vinegar of strong drink. Neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dry.
Our people they love everything from the vine. Yeah.
I sent you a song the other day with Peter Touch.
Peter Touch, yeah.
He said, I don't touch nothing from the vine.
Oh,
It's
praise
got that
God.
spirit, yeah.
Well, I mean, growing up, throughout my life at my younger age, I usually thought more or less drinking was, not forbidden.
Mm.
But that's why it's so important for you to read this book to get understanding, from Yahweh more than from mankind.
My mother-in-law said that wine is a mocker. The scripture said.
Yeah.
And so, but we don't get to have that conversation. I try to explain the Mashiach. He drank wine.
Oh man, his eyes was all red, like blood. He was a white member.
See? They accused him of.
Yeah.
That's right. So where verse 4.
Yeah, verse 4.
All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree,
Mm-hmm.
from the kernels even to the husk.
Mm-hmm.
All the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled, in the which he separated himself unto Yahweh. He shall be holy, and shall let the locks of his hair, of the hair of his head rather, grow.
So this is a requirement
Yes, sir.
to, for you to take that Nazarite vow.
That's right.
Are you ready for that vow?
Mm.
Come on.
Mm.
Are we ready for that vow? Because it's a time, it's a beautiful thing when you can separate yourself to your maker.
Correct. Correct.
To do exactly what your maker wants you to do.
Mm. Mm.
Understanding you didn't create yourself in the first place.
Correct.
So there's someone more higher
Mm.
than yourself.
Mm. See.
Let's go and see what happened next.
Yes, sir. Numbers chapter 6, verse 6. All the days that he separated himself unto Yahweh, he shall come at no dead body.
Mm-hmm.
He shall not make himself unclean for his father, or for his mother, for his brother, or for his sister, when they die, because the consecration of his Elohim is upon his head. So this shows us how sacred it was to Yahweh.
That's right.
This is very similar to that which Aaron
Mm-hmm.
and his sons were under when they were being
Burned.
consecrated unto Yahweh.
Mhm.
Because the sons got burnt up,
Yeah.
he couldn't even warn them.
No.
And so in the end, these were his sons. He said, let your brethren carry them out.
Yeah.
Don't let Yahweh see you take your hat off or let your hair get. No, don't do it, because that oil was upon them, and they were still being consecrated.
That's
They would
right.
have died.
That's right. Because Yahweh is the God of the living,
Yes,
not
sir.
the God of the dead.
That's right.
I mean, he can raise you up back if he wants.
Correct. Correct.
So the key thing about it, you have to follow his instruction.
See, that's right. We're in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 8. All the days of his separation, he is holy unto Yahweh. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he has defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the seventh day, he shall shave it.
Great job. Just read with understanding.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
So if you, come, like what you said, defile yourself because at a sudden death, automatically you break that vow.
That's right.
So all the days that you serve before the completion, it's a waste.
They don't count. Yeah.
You have to start back over.
Start all over. That's right. That's deep.
Yeah.
But praise Yah.
I mean, it's not a waste of Yahweh. Yahweh will wait.
Yes.
He's a very patient Elohim.
He don't take nothing blemished. So that would be
right.
blemished.
That's right.
It would be blemished if he was to accept it within that time. He said, no, you got to start over. Whatever that time period was designated.
Yeah.
We're in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 10. And on the 8th day, he shall bring 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons to the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. For he shall consecrate unto Yahweh the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering. But the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. We just spoke.
Yeah.
Verse 13. And this is the law of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall offer his offering unto Yahweh 1 he-lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and 1 ewe-lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and 1 ram without blemish for peace offerings. So he himself had to be unblemished.
That's
so he
right.
would be able to offer those sacrifices.
That's right.
See? Verse 15. And a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread, anointed with oil, and their meal offering and their drink offerings. And the priest shall bring them before Yahweh, and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering, and shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahweh, with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meal offering and his drink offering. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation, and put it in the fire, which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall take the sodden shoulder of the ram, and 1 unleavened cake out of the basket, and 1 unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazarite after the hair of his separation is shaven. And the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. This is holy for the priest.
That's right.
With the wave breast and the heave shoulder, and after that the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazarite who has vowed, and of his offering unto Yahweh for his separation, beside that his hand shall get, according to the vow which he vowed. So must he do after the law of his separation.
So these things are required.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you're not ready, to do these ritual that is required for, being a Nazarite before the Most High, well, stay away from it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right.
Yeah.
Or it would be blemished.
It would be blemished.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all your offering would be blemished before Yahweh.
Verse 23. Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, verse 22. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise you shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Praise Yah and praise Yah. And between us in verse 24 and 26, this is what we call the benediction.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes, sir.
It's just like, Yahweh put his name, and the children of Israel said, you are mine.
That's right.
You know.
Praise.
We haven't said that to no other nation on the face of this earth.
You're right. Said you only have I known.
Thank you.
All the families.
Yeah, but don't get swallowed down.
See, and that's what Israel did.
Yeah.
They said, see, this is the pot.
Yeah.
We the flesh. Yeah, we can't do this thing without us. That's what they thought.
Think again.
See.
Think again.
Yeah, we had something. He made sure he had to clarify that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You make sure, you do what required, what Yahweh has set forth in this book, because then, we'll find ourselves in pure providence. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Every day.
Yeah, we have examples all throughout this book.
Yeah. And I know, before we go, I know you said something about a vow. I think in the book of Acts, where some guys pertaining to Paul, what Paul was teaching.
Yes, sir.
And they also took a vow. So, if you don't mind, can we go and take a look?
Yes, sir.
At that one. I think it's Acts 21.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For time's sake, because, and this was, after the death of the Messiah. So we can still see that the Nazarite vows are still in force.
That's right.
And it's open to all, because remember, we are honored the Melchizedek priesthood.
Correct.
We're not honored the Aaronic priesthood.
Right.
Yeah, so, we can do it.
You said chapter 21 there, though?
Chapter 21, I don't want you to pick up, that's in chapter 21. Yeah, chapter 21. Let's pick it up from verse 14, if you don't mind.
Right.
Verse 18.
18?
Yeah, verse 18. And I'll tell you when to stop.
Right.
Or you can stop, or you can jump in at any
Just
time.
let me know when to stop.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We're in the book of Acts, chapter 21, verse 18. And the day following, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things Elohim had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry. And when they heard it, they glorified the Adonai, and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law.
Praise Yah.
See, people say, well, Christ did away with those folks, and the Jews killed Christ. That's what the people say.
Yep.
But we just read here. He said, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe.
Praise Yah.
See? And not only that, but they were zealous of the law.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
They want to uphold the law at all times.
That's right.
They don't kick it to the curve as, these sects in this time frame. They say, oh, we're not honor the law anymore.
Correct. See.
And this was after the death of the Messiah.
That's right. The 30 years of the church here.
Thank you.
Right. He said that he was sent to his own, and his own received him not. But as many of his own received him, he gave them power to be sons and daughters of the living God.
That's right.
See?
Praise
he was
Yah.
sent to people forget that. Verse 20.
21.
I'm sorry, verse 21. And they are informed of thee that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moshe, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs.
The bottom line is, when I say to forsake Moshe, it's talking about the law.
Correct.
Okay? So don't get twisted with that, because, because Moshe is the one that received the law and dispensed the law, to the 12 tribes. Yeah.
So they're basically accusing Paul of telling the people or teaching the Jews to stray away from the law of Moshe.
Yeah.
But we know Paul's words were hard to understand, so they're not understanding Paul.
That's right. That's right. Go back into the book of Peter.
Yes, sir.
A lot of them wrestle with, Paul's writing. You know, you have to read it with, understanding, and everything else. If not, you're going to struggle the same way. That's the reason why you can't say, oh, the law is done away with, and do not read the law.
Correct.
Because all you're going to receive understanding.
See. And Paul was told to go to the Gentiles. He was sent to the Gentiles.
That's right.
So he ran into issues when he was among his people. When he wasn't sent to the Jews, he was sent to the Gentiles.
That's right.
And anytime he went among the Jews, he had issues.
Yeah,
they tried to stone him. They did all kinds of things. They stirred up the city in uproar anytime he came around.
Those were what they call die-hearted Jews, because they realized, look, man, if we're doing it, they need to do it too. See. But it wasn't given to certain things wasn't given to the Gentiles.
Correct. And then we know Paul persecuted the church.
That's right.
In his zealousness.
That's right.
His misunderstanding. He was doing that which the law prescribed.
That's right.
But we understand he was following it. He had letters from the priest to do what and to carry out his mission. Mm-hmm. So that's why he was sent to the Gentiles. He said, "You go over here, because they're not going to understand. I got use for you." They still bucking up against it. He said, "Man, I know this guy now." Well, Mashiach told him, "Say, look, he's a chosen vessel.
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, let him do what I order him to do."
That's right.
Because just as though I gave you instruction, I gave him instruction to. Instruction to.
Praise Him.
Verse 22.
Acts chapter 21, verse 22. What is it, therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come. Do therefore this, that we say to thee. We have 4 men which have a vow on them. So
it's only 4 of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That took this vow. Whatever reason, we're gonna see as we, dive into the rest of the verses.
Yes, sir.
Stating that are not to circumcise their children. But go ahead.
Yes, sir. Verse 23. Do therefore this that we say to thee. We have 4 men which have a vow on them. Mm-hmm. Take them and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law.
Praise Yah. Praise Yah.
As touching the Gentiles which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangled, and from fornication. We know that certain things, we're the one that received the law. Correct. And if we receive the law, we're, more responsibility is reckoned on our side. Correct. More than the Gentile. They don't have to do a thing. See. Plus, if you go back when Abraham received this law, it's everything that is bought with their money and of your also. Correct. Well, they weren't bought with his money. We don't bought with his money. That's right. That's right. And it wasn't under his tent also. Correct. So, circumcision is not an issue when it comes to the Gentile. Correct. Even though, yes, it is required, especially going, they're not going to go into the wilderness, back into the wilderness, because everyone have to be circumcised going into the wilderness. Finish it. I was going to say, let us go there, but verse 26. Then Paul took the men, and the next day, purifying himself with them, entered into the temple to signify the accomplishment of the days of purification, until that an offering should be offered for every one of them. And when the 7 days were almost ended, the Jews which were of Asia, when they saw him in the temple, stirred up all the people, and laid hands on him, crying out, Men of Israel, help! This is the man that teacheth all men everywhere against the people, and the law, and this place, and further brought Greeks also into the temple, and has polluted this holy place. Man, see? Back then, it's death sentence. See? They had strict sex. Yep. They would have had the assassins among them. They would have killed you for that. They're ready for that, man. Yes, our people, they were ready. They were, man, that's what they call, they were a mighty man of war. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. Praise Him. Yes, praise Him. We're in the book of Acts, chapter 21, verse 29. For they had seen before with him in the city Trophimus, an Ephesian, whom they supposed that Paul had brought into the temple. And all the city was moved, and the people ran together, and they took Paul and drew him out of the temple, and forthwith the doors were shut. And as they went about to kill him, tidings came unto the chief captain of the band, that all Jerusalem was in an uproar, who immediately took soldiers and centurions, and ran down unto them. And when they saw the chief captain and the soldiers, they left beating of Paul. Then the chief captains came near and took him, and commanded him to be bound with 2 chains, and demanded who he was, and what he had done. And some cried one thing, some another among the multitude.
That's right.
And when they could not know the certainty for the tumult, he commanded him to be carried into the castle. And when he came upon the stairs, so it was that he was borne of the soldiers for the violence of the people. For the multitude of the people followed after, crying, Away with him! And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days madest an uproar, and leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers?
So we can see the same thing here, going back, so it can tell us, what complexion or color was our people.
They accused him of being an Egyptian.
Thank you.
See?
And we know, the ancient Egyptian, they are black skin.
That's right.
Dark colored skin.
See? They also called them they also labeled the Ethiopians among these people who were brothers to these folks, and that was a Greek word which means burnt face.
Burnt face.
See, so they never described the land. That wasn't the name of the land. That was describing the people.
That's right.
So yeah, like you said, they were burnt face, dark skinned people. Yeah, but he spoke Greek. He's a Jew.
He's bilingual, man.
So he's bilingual. So they racially misprofiled him because they called him an Egyptian.
That's right.
So we know the Hebrews have to have favored the Egyptians. So we were both dark-skinned people. This is all the Messiah could hide in Egypt.
That's right.
So we know that this game that's being run on us, as it pertains to this whole thing about this complexion and
everything else,
it's a game.
It cannot work anymore.
No,
it cannot work anymore. Don't say you're gonna put it in a book. We read to.
That's right.
Right. We uncover the lies that you've been telling our people for hundred of years.
That's right. Praise Him. Praise Him.
We're not going to be destroyed for the lack of knowledge anymore.
No, sir.
We're going to be destroyed because we want to be destroyed. Let me put it that way. The easy way.
By disobedience.
By disobedience.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, my deacon.
Praise Him. Acts chapter 21, verse 39. But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city of Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city. And I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. And when he had given him a license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hands unto the people. And when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew tongue.
Praise God.
Praise God.
So looking back on verse 39, I mean, Christian is going to state that Paul brought Christianity, to the new world. Let me put it that way. But here, he states his pedigree.
See, I'm a Jew.
He didn't say he was a Christian.
No, sir. And he clarified, I'm not an Egyptian.
Thank you.
He made that clear.
Very, very clear. So the bottom line is, when we look on, the Nazarite vow, so these 4 men, they took vows, but they kept the law.
That's right.
You understand? They do the ritual, behind, that follow, their vow.
So they were telling Paul, look, you go cleanse yourself with these men. So they don't, because they're misunderstanding you, saying that you don't keep the law.
You don't keep the law. Because let's get back on a little circumcision, because when we return back into the kingdom, even before we get into the kingdom, we have to be circumcised. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 44.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to pick it up at verse 6.
Yes, sir.
You see, we can't not afford to be fooled anymore. It is important for you to read this book.
Yes, sir.
A little here, a little there. You know, get all the answers you need.
Yes, sir. Praise Him.
And this is, you know, this is when we're going back into the kingdom.
You said pick it up at verse 6, Mother?
Yeah, pick it up verse 6. Yeah, I don't want, you know, to stray away because, you know, we're trying to get through that. Yeah, pick it up at verse 6.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe to verse 9.
Okay. This is the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 44, verse 6.
In the millennium period. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations, in that you have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house, when you offer my bread, the fat and the blood. And they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. And you have not kept the charge of mine holy things, but you have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel.
Praise God. I just want to get that little part
Yes,
in
sir.
to know, even though it is not required right now in this era for the Gentile to be circumcised. It shouldn't be a force, but it would be a good thing for them to, to do it on their home, because you cannot enter into the land uncircumcised, whether in heart or in flesh.
One law for all.
One law for all.
Yes, sir.
One law for the homeborn, and one for the strangers among that. Okay, let's go back to Judges. If we can pick up back, the story, this beautiful story, about Samson, and his charge that the Creator has given, to him.
Yes, sir. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 13, verse 6. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of Elohim came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of Elohim, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told me his name. So we know it was a man.
It was a man.
Yeah.
It looked. It didn't have any wings.
Right?
Yeah.
So he didn't tell me his name, but she said his countenance was like that of an angel.
Yeah.
Very terrible.
You say it's so important to read this book.
Yes, sir.
It kind of debunk all those lies that have been, portraying about an angel.
That's right. That's right. Yep. And the man and the angel communicated with her. So
That's right.
But she spoke Hebrew.
That's right.
So he must have spoken Hebrew for her to understand.
The original language.
That's right.
There's no need to change that language,
See.
even though they understand all languages. Okay.
Yes, sir. Verse 7. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son. And now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing. For the child shall be a Nazarite to Elohim from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated Yahweh and said, O my Adonai, let the man of Elohim which thou didst send come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. So notice his wife comes to him, and she tells him, a man came to me, and she tells him what the man said. Now, did he rebuke her or say, well,
no,
how dare, what is this man you talking to? What, he wouldn't come to you. Why would the angel come to you? Did he say that?
No.
He entreated Yahweh and said, send him again so he can instruct us and let us know what to do. So it wasn't an uncommon thing for an angel to appear unto one of our women.
Praise God. Don't an angel, appear unto Mary?
Correct. See? But so we because brothers nowadays have a different understanding.
Mm-hmm.
See, these brothers knew from back then. They didn't find it strange. When Rachel or Rebecca, she said, "Look, she came to him. Why are they striving?
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose of this?" He had no problem answering.
That's right.
You know? So but we have a different doctrine being taught.
Hannah is the same thing too.
See?
Yeah, the wife of Samuel.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
You haven't given me anything.
That's right.
I'm barren. I haven't bear any fruit. What's going on? Because it was like a reproach for a woman not to bear, children to their husband back in those days.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
she wanted to give her husband.
Come on, man. Hey, it's a beautiful thing, man, to, the wife can say, hey, I bear you seed.
See? Praise God.
Yeah, come on.
Praise God. Verse 7.
Verse 8.
Verse 8.
9. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, verse 9. And Elohim hearkened to the voice of Manoah. And the angel of Elohim came again unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman made haste and ran, and showed her husband, and said unto him, Behold, the man has appeared unto me, that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose, and went after his wife, and came to the man, and said unto him, Art thou the man that spakest unto the woman? And he said, I am. That's deep. That right there, heavy.
I am.
I am, right? And Manoah said, Now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child, and how shall we do unto him? And the angel of Yahweh said unto Manoah, Of all that I said unto the woman, let her be aware.
Mm-hmm.
She may not eat of anything that cometh of the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All that I commanded her, let her observe. And Manoah said unto the angel of Yahweh, I pray thee, let us detain thee until we shall have made ready a kid for thee. And the angel of Yahweh said unto Manoah, Though thou detain me, I will not eat of thy bread. And if thou wilt offer a burnt offering, thou must offer it unto Yahweh.
Praise Yah. So they have rules also to follow.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Not because you're up in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, my lord. Latter part of verse 16. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of Yahweh. So he still doesn't know. It's a man that he's seeing.
Yeah, he's still looking at a man.
See?
So, that's to show you that you all need someone else to teach you.
See? And this is deep.
Yeah.
The angel came, he prayed to Yahweh. Yahweh sent the angel back again to the woman. She came and got a husband. He came back. And then he's giving him this. He said, I already told him the same thing I told him.
Yes.
This is what
The same thing?
Follow
those
instructions. To comfort him and let him know that it's Yahweh. This is not no strange thing.
Yeah.
This is Yahweh doing this.
That's right. And I don't have to repeat the same thing I've said to the sister.
See?
That shows that Yahweh used who he wanted to use,
Correct.
whether man or woman.
Correct. It's deep.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Verse 17. And Manoah said unto the angel of Yahweh, What is thy name? That when thy sayings come to pass, we may do thee honor.
And all of us is looking for some form of honor.
That's right.
Come on.
Verse 18. And the angel of Yahweh said unto him, Why askest thou thus after my name, seeing it is secret? So Manoah took a kid with a meal offering, and offered it upon a rock unto Yahweh. And the angel did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked on.
You know what, my dear Ken? I don't know if a lot of people out there, they read the book of Noah. Is it Noah? The book of Noah. And in the book of Noah, you have a bunch of names of all sort of angels.
Or Enoch.
Enoch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you for the correction.
Praise
a bunch of names.
That's right.
In this case, it's telling you that my name is secret. So unless Yahweh want that angel to reveal his name to you,
See, it's not going to be told.
yeah, it's not going to be told.
That's right.
Because they're not looking in the honor for themselves.
So where did that come from? You know,
That's a good question.
We're not discrediting the book, but
Yeah.
we're saying that Yahweh has a pattern as to how he does things.
That's right.
So there was some angels names who were revealed.
Yes.
We got Gabriel, we got Michael, but this particular angel, he said, "My name is secret."
That's right.
You know, the angel that appeared unto Moshe told him, "Take your shoes off." He didn't tell him his name. But
No.
he told him, "Take your shoes off." The angel appeared unto Joshua, told him the same
thing.
You know, but none of them told him his name.
No. They're not looking at the glory for themselves.
Yeah.
They know, their instruction, is to give the information to the children of Israel, and get back to their camp or their place of residence.
Yes, sir.
Which is in heaven.
Praise God.
Verse 19.
Verse 19. So Manoah took a kid with the meal offering and offered it upon a rock unto Yahweh, and the angel did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked on. For it came to pass, when the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar, that the angel of Yahweh ascended into the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife looked on it, and fell on their faces to the ground. But the angel of Yahweh did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of Yahweh. Praise God. And Manoah said unto his wife, "We shall surely die, because we have seen Elohim." But his wife said unto him, "If Yahweh were pleased to kill us, he would have not received a burnt offering and a meal offering at our hands. Neither would he have showed us all these things, nor would at this time have told us such things as these."
Man, we need to listen to the sisters in some time.
That's right. She calmed him down.
Calm him down.
Yeah. I have to speak reason to him. I mean, why would the angel just came to you and told you what the child is going to be, how you need to care for him. All of these things. The time period that all of these things were told to him.
That's right.
So what would be the purpose of that? And then in killing,
turning around and killing you. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But we understand they thought that they saw God.
Yeah.
But
we
know
he
was frightened. He was frightened.
Yeah.
Both of them fell on their faces, but she was cool. And she told him, "No,
don't worry yourself. Hey, how's it calm down? I got this covered. I got this one." Yeah.
And I mean, this is even that is an example. That's a lesson to us without it speaking. He didn't say, "Hey, you men, listen up."
Yeah.
But he's telling us, listen up. This is an example too.
Yeah.
In these days and times, we go through situations, and our wives may say, "Hey, such and such," and we may not take it to note, thinking that, well, okay, yeah, well, I'm the head. Well, yeah, you are the head.
Yeah.
But you have a helpmate who you may not see things that she sees.
That's
why
right.
he gave her to help you.
That's right.
You might be occupied, focused on other things, and you might miss something simple, and see she can point out those things, and that's how she can help you.
Praise yeah.
And bring you back and say, "Hey, no, it's not like that."
My deacon, it goes to show that a good leader always listens, to everyone that is associated with his camp or his household. You have to listen to those, because if you don't listen, or you expect them to listen to your command.
See, and this is something that we learn. I mean, I know I'm guilty of that. We all fall short.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing, but we as men have to be grown enough and mature enough to be able to accept when we mess up.
Yeah.
And be able to acknowledge these things and be able. This is the only way we can improve.
That's right.
Acknowledgement of things, being aware of something is the only way we can even begin to address it. If we're not aware of it, we won't even know what to address.
That's right.
Yeah. So these are great examples. This is why we say this: Israel being tested in the land. This is not.
We're really being tested.
Yes, sir.
Not particular as like a nation or or as a tribe, but also as a household also.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And we have to listen to these, unique instruction.
Yes, sir.
Unique behavior of individual, and follow their footsteps.
Praise God. Praise God.
This is a lesson for us too.
Yes,
Not
sir.
only for Manoah and his wife,
Correct.
but all of us.
See, this is an example for husband and wives.
That's right.
These are things we can learn from.
Praise God.
Praise God. Verse 24. And the woman bare a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and Yahweh blessed him. And the Spirit of Yahweh began to move him at times in the camp of Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
I know we're trying to go. If you want me to pick up verse 14?
Oh, it's no brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll read it. I'll read no brother.
Okay. All right. Keep going then, my deacon.
It's all good there.
Yeah.
We're in the book of Judges, chapter 14, verse 1. And Samson went down to Timnath, and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines.
Mm-hmm.
And he came up and told his father and his mother, and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all thy people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well.
Man, this is the way things done back in those days.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't in these days. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, things are. We get more wiser
Mm.
in this time, and we know who we're gonna give our children to. We want to have some say so in it too.
Right.
You know, so we can instruct our sons and our daughters, either to take a husband or a wife.
Yes, sir.
Which is good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Verse 4. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of Yahweh, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel.
You know what? So, look at that verse.
Mm.
So sometimes when we go through certain in our life,
Right.
and don't raise hell over it. Just humble yourself.
See.
Because who knows? Yahweh allows you to go through it. So it can give him an occasion to destroy all these people
That's
that
right.
are against us.
That's right.
It may be on your job, it may be out there doing something casual. You
That's
see what I'm
right.
saying?
You're right. You're right. It's so many lessons within this.
To learn.
That's right. You can look at it naturally and then you see it spiritually too.
That's right, my
Yeah.
deacon.
Like you say, there's nothing new under the sun.
Nothing here.
This thing, some would look and say, well, look, he's marrying a strange woman. What's wrong with it? Well, Yahweh did that. He moved it. Yahweh made the prophet marry a whore. He said, you go marry a whore.
That's right.
People would say, well, but man, Hoshea, what's wrong with you? Why you marrying a whore? But Yahweh told him to do it.
Yeah.
See? And so Yahweh has, we can't get him.
You cannot get in between
That's right.
Yahweh and what Yahweh is going to do.
That's right.
Just follow your instructions.
Simple.
That's all you got to do.
Mm.
Follow the instruction that is given unto you.
See, we may be looking at it as something natural, but it's spiritual.
It's
Yahweh,
spiritual.
Yahweh is he has a purpose. It's something that he has an end that he's looking.
That's right.
But he
That's
has
right.
to bring you through here to get you there.
I mean, most of the time, our people complain about a bad treatment. Yes, you're supposed to get it.
Mm-hmm.
It is written that you're going to get it.
Mhm.
You're going to be at the bottom of the pole.
See,
So stop your whining.
that's
Just go through it. If you need help, hold up your hand to the Most High. Stretch it out wide open. Ask him to help you to go through the situation.
See, don't move the rock. Give me the strength to go through.
Oh, that was the song.
Yeah,
That was the song, yeah.
Give me the strength
To climb over.
it.
Don't worry about it. He will give you the strength.
That's right.
If it's that he wants you to
This
do.
is will. That's right. Praise God. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 14, verse 5. Then went Samson down, and his father and his mother to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath. And behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of Yahweh came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would rather have rent a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father nor his mother what he had done.
Mm-hmm.
So he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time, he returned to take her. And he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion.
Mm-hmm.
And he took thereof in his hands, and went on eating, and came to his father and his mother, and he gave them, and did eat. But he told them not that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. Now we know this is significant because this is the law now. And he's being a Nazarite, not only supposed to not touch nothing from the grape,
That's
from
right.
the vine, but nothing unclean.
That's right.
The mother didn't touch nothing unclean. She was a Nazarite. She was separated.
That's
During
right.
her time, and now he comes. So this is why he didn't tell his parents about it.
But basically, you're not supposed to touch the carcass of an animal.
That's right.
I mean, it maybe not have anything to do with taking another right vow.
See,
But, when you touch, you become unclean. And
That's
can you
right.
imagine you're eating out of an unclean situation?
see,
I can't tell my parents this.
you know,
Not honey is good,
right?
but where I got it from is not
It
good.
wasn't good.
Yeah.
Correct. You're right. Praise Yah.
Yeah. Verse 10.
Verse 10. So his father went down unto the woman,
Mm-hmm.
and Samson made there a feast rather, for so used the young men to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If you can certainly declare it me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments.
Mm-hmm. Shirts. Mm-hmm.
And if you cannot declare it to me, then you shall give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, Put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. And he said unto them, Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the 7th day, that when they said unto Samson's wife, Entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire.
Mm.
Have you called us to take that we have? Is it not so? And Samson's wife wept before him and said, Thou dost but hate me, and lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it me. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it my father, nor my mother, and shall I tell it thee?
Mm-mm-mm.
And she wept before him the 7 days, while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him. And she told the riddle to the children of her people.
So somebody here was keeping some form of feast.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
The feast of Yahweh.
Verse 18. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day, before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, If you had not plowed with my heifer, you had not found out my riddle.
It's a way, some sort, put it, mess with my heifer. I've known the answer for this riddle. But again, what I've seen here too in verse 18, if you look, you can know the pattern that Yahweh established with his people of counting days. It never changed.
See,
From sun up to sundown.
that's right. That's right.
From sunrise, to sundown. That complete 1 day.
See, sunset to
So sunset to sunset. Yeah, thank you.
In the morning.
In verse 19.
So mankind already had this order.
They have this order.
That's right.
And they base their civilization, by this structure that Yahweh has given, to us in the book of Genesis chapter 1.
Praise yeah. So people think that back in these days, men they weren't able to count. It's like some new creation that came on. It's not so.
No.
Men knew how to count. They knew how to number the days.
And everything else.
I read about the Egyptians. They even calculated the minutes.
Oh,
See?
that's
So
right.
all this as if man has come with something new.
Yeah.
It's
Nothing new.
under the sun. To that because I keep reading a lot of articles of people like they're afraid of it. The prophecy didn't warn about none of these things. You're not supposed to fear that.
Don't fear anything.
It's nothing. It's not about. You see this the game that they're playing is that it's something that is gonna
Control you or something.
Accountability.
Yeah, remove
you have a set
human.
of people
Yeah,
who are controlling this
Yeah.
machine, and they've been controlling it. You know, some people call that conspiracy theory. You know, but the facts of the matter is that you have people who are in control, whether
That's
people
right.
want to acknowledge it or not. You know, and it's a small handful of them that's really running the show. And so it ain't gonna be no AI that's gonna come. It's the same people that's running the order right now.
they're the
This is
same
who's
one.
So if they're gonna put that out, that's just a scapegoat to escape any type of accountability.
That's right.
It's the same people doing these things.
Never change.
Yeah.
Never change.
Competition is sin to them, is what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Judges chapter 14, verse 18. Verse 19.
Verse 19. Yeah.
And the Spirit of Yahweh came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon, and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend.
Man, this brother was a warrior.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, you saw the riddle. It didn't have those gifts or those sheets and those, shirts and those garments ready for those men. Yeah, so it's okay. I will be back in a minute or two. Yeah.
And look at, so you see how they did the wedding feast lasted 7 days.
Yeah.
You know, and they put forth riddles among one another.
Yeah.
You know, so
This is our people.
Communicate.
This is our people because growing up back in my day, oh man, generally when it's like full moon, then the children, all of us will be outdoor. We'll be asking each other riddles.
See,
You know, riddle me this, riddle me that, guess me this riddle, let's borrow that. Yeah, I mean, those childhood were days, enjoyable, but
Crazy, yeah.
there's a lot more to it more than that, just asking a riddle. But you can see that we are truly the descendant of the children of Israel.
Correct. Crazy, yeah. Crazy, yeah.
Praise yeah, man.
Yes, sir. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 15, verse 1. But it came to pass within a while after, in the time of wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid. And he said, I will go in to my wife into the chamber. But her father would not suffer him to go in. And her father said, I verily thought that thou hadst utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to thy companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. And Samson said concerning them, Now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and took firebrands, and turned tail to tail, and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines, and burnt up both the shocks and also the standing grain with the vineyards and olives. Then the Philistines said, Who has done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. That's deep. And Samson said unto them, Though you have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. And he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter, and he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock Etam. Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah, and spread themselves in Lehi. And the men of Judah said, Why are you come up against us? And they answered, To bind Samson are we come up, to do to him as he has done to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Etam, and said to Samson, Knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, As they did unto me, so have I done unto them. And they said unto him, We are come to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, Swear unto me that you will not fall upon me yourselves. And they spake unto him, saying, No, but we will bind thee fast, and deliver thee into their hand. But surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords, and brought him up from the rock.
You notice, these are men, bond, with their words.
Correct.
You understand? Back then, but now, if someone said they're going to do this, don't expect them to do it. But back in the days, these are man of their words.
That's right. We used to say, word is bond.
Word is bond.
See, your word meant something. That's
Yeah.
all a man had.
That's all. And that's all we have to go by. Not in this day of time, man.
He said, let your yea be yea, and your nay be nay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anything more?
You sin, you're going to do something, do it. You say you're going to do it. You always say he don't have no pleasure in fools. If a man vow a vow, if you ain't going to pay the vow, then don't make the vow.
Don't make the vow.
Yeah. That's right. That's like he says, woe to the man that puts his hand to the plow and draws
I'm trying to pull back.
Yeah.
You have no part in my kingdom.
That's
basically.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Verse 14. And when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of Yahweh came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that were burnt with fire, and his bands loosed from off his hands. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. And Samson said, With the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramath Lehi.
Man, the brother was tired of killing all these people, man.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he was a mighty hunter, man. Plus, I mean, his strength was, the Spirit of Yah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Praise Yah.
Yeah, I've given him something that I haven't given unto, an ordinary man, so the strength of 1,000 men.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he doesn't go, I remember, can't remember that movie, man. They showed this huge chopped in guy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A Bible story. Yeah,
a Bible story.
Yeah,
But,
he had the locks.
yeah.
He was real, he was very muscular. But, we're going to get to that, guys, later. What was the secret of his strength?
Yep.
They were wondering as well. The Philistines are going to inquire about that. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 15, verse 18. And he was sore athirst, and called on Yahweh and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant. And now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? But Elohim clave a hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof Enhak Kor, which is in Lehi unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years.
Man, can you imagine?
Praise God.
So many years, our people have suffered under the hands of the Philistines. And, I mean, it's so important for us to read this book to get a full understanding of our history.
That's right.
Because our history is so important. Knowing that, you see how the Creator was so close to the children of Israel.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, we can get back to that state. But we have to follow the instruction, the law, the commandment, and the statutes. This is what, got us close, back then, to the Creator. And so we have to return to the old ways.
Yes, sir. The ancient path.
To the ancient path,
Yes,
man.
sir.
He said, ask your elder. He didn't say ask the younger folks. Ask your elder. Elder that is in the word of the Most High.
Yes, sir. Praise God. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there a harlot, and went in unto her. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all the night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him.
They after this brother so bad, to kill him. Because, he was a strong brother.
Yes, sir.
Goliath is no match for him. Yeah.
He just slew 1,000 of them with a jawbone of an ass that they,
knocked
his jawbone. Yes, sir.
It's nothing. We need to take him down.
Yeah,
we need to take him out. Yeah.
Verse 3. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the 2 posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of an hill that is before Hebron.
Man, that brother was so strong.
The gate of the city. Like, man.
It maybe take 100 of them just to put that gate together.
See? Man, that's a sight to see. Yeah. That's a sight to see.
Praise God, because even though Samson was, pretty strong, Yahweh has given us strength in his own unique ways.
Correct.
He has strengthened us through the words.
That's right.
Known that nothing can ever trample us. Or, nothing you can put before us can stop us from continuing to worship the true and living Elohim.
Praise
the creator of heaven and earth.
Say no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
That's right.
And it's a lot of weapons being formed.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is what has given us power.
That's right.
And no one can take it away from us.
See?
Yeah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah indeed. Verse 4. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. So we see, the men were doing as they pleased. Samson, he running up in harlots and all kind of, and we see that this is how they were moving in these times.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, Yahweh didn't rebuke him, but that didn't say it was right. But we see these things.
Man, look, that's what I explained. Yahweh don't have to abide by the law that is given to Israel. He's above the law. He's the one that written and give Moshe the law to give us the law.
He's seeking an occasion to destroy these Philistines. So however he allowed it to take place.
Apart from that, he don't have to abide by the law.
That's right.
He's above the law.
You're right.
Yeah, so we spoke last week where he offered his son.
Correct.
Even though he don't accept, human sacrifice, he showed you that I can do whatever I want to do.
That's right. Yes, sir.
He even told people, hey, if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you.
That's right.
Because everything you look at is mine.
Yes, sir.
I don't know when our people are going to get it through their head. Especially these old covenant brothers. They're missing out on a lot, man.
Yeah, we got to open their ears.
Yeah.
But
but it's not time.
Yeah, only Yahweh can open their ears.
It's not time. Yeah, he do things in partial.
We're in the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 5. And the masters of the Philistines came up unto her, and said unto her, Entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him. And we will give thee, every one of us, 1,100 pieces of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, If they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak, and be as another man. Then the masters of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs, which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the wifts, as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire. So his strength was not known.
Man, Samson knows this type of woman. They're not to be trusted.
Yes, sir.
But still, even though we go out there and know some women are not to be trusted, we still, see that occasion and continue with these sisters.
That's right.
I mean, these are not really his sisters, but from a different nation.
Yes,
Why
sir.
can't you stick to your own? There's nothing wrong with that. But, this is Yahweh's at work here.
Yes, sir. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 10. And Delilah said unto Samson, Behold, thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If they bind me fast with new ropes that were never occupied, then shall I be weak, and be as another man. Delilah therefore took new ropes, and bound him therewith, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, Hitherto thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And she fastened it with a pin, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam, and with the web. And she said unto him, How canst thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death, that's deep, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There has not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto Elohim from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak, and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the masters of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, for he has showed me all his heart. Then the masters of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep, and said, I will go out, as at other times before, and shake myself. And he knew not that Yahweh was departed from him. But the Philistines took him, and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. Howbeit, the hairs of his head began to grow again, after he was shaven. Then the masters of the Philistines gathered them together, for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their God, and to rejoice. For they said, Our God has delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hand. See, this is what they thought.
Idolatry, man.
Idolatry. They thought that their God had did it.
Yeah.
Not understanding that Yahweh had purpose in all that he was doing.
That's right.
Verse 24. And when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, Our God has delivered into our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, Call for Samson, that he may make us sport. And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport, and they set him between the pillars.
Man, what's the difference what they're doing with our people today?
That's right. It's no different. No different. Yeah. The people out there, we're there to entertain them. Israel is a spectacle of among all the nations.
That's right.
It's like the world is like an arena.
Yeah, of
and
course.
Israel is the spectacles in the middle of it.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
They use us for entertainment purpose only.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you maybe be a rich one, you maybe be a poor one.
That's right.
They do whatever they want to do with you, then they get rid of you.
So true. Nothing new under the sun. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 26. And Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, Suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them. Now the house was full of men and women, and all the masters of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women, and that beheld while Samson made sport. And Samson called unto Yahweh, and said, O Yahweh Elohim, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once. O Elohim, that I may be avenged, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes. And Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it was borne up, of the one with his right hand, and of the other with his left. And Samson said, Let me die with the Philistines. And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon the masters, and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Then his brethren and all the house of his fathers came down and took him, and brought him up, and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol, in the burying place of Manoah his father. And he judged Israel 20 years.
Praise yeah, and praise yeah, and praise yeah. And you know, our title was Israel being tested in the land. And you know, verse 28, and Samson called unto Yahweh and said, O Yahweh Elohim, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me. I pray thee only this once, O Elohim, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistine for my 2 eyes. You know, so Yahweh has used, you know, Samson in this occasion, you know, to revenge, you know, for his people, you know, the Philistines.
Yes, sir.
You know, and looking at this, I mean, we look, I mean, from the start of Judges, we see where Israel is back and forth. You know, we all doing foolish things before Yahweh. Instead of doing, you know, Yahweh's, you know, instruction that has been given unto us, we switch and we do things which are written to other gods. Continue in idolatry. And that's the way we are today. We continue in our ways of our forefathers. You know, I'm not here to judge because I also fall, because we are flesh. But remember this prayer that Samson, you know, have called upon Yahweh for, you know, to remember. So when we go down to bed, let's remember, you know, let's ask Yahweh to remember us, not for our faults, not for our sins, because sin singular is death, but ask him to forgive us. So at this time, you know, I officially come to the end of our class, our Sabbath, you know, discussion, teaching, and I will turn it over, you know, to my deacon. My elder is not here, you know, hope everything is well with him, and we surely miss him,
yes,
you know, and you know, keep him you know, in your prayers, and let me turn it over to the deacon for any recap, any, you know, whatever.
You know, praise Yahweh. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in this in the story of Samson, and we'll probably revisit some of these things next week. Yahweh, when I have the returns, but nonetheless, the it's a lot of lessons within this. Israel being tested in the land, and like you were saying, not to drive home or kick a dead horse. these things are prevalent today here in these days and times.
That's right.
The warfare that we're fighting is spiritual. Israel is still being tested.
That's right.
So we just need to hold our ground.
That's
be
right.
Still, and increase our faith in these days and times. Because, the Messiah prophesied that these things would come to pass. You're going to see, he said, wars, rumors of wars. Matter of fact, let's read that real quick. And that's all I got here. I just wanted to cover that. Then we go to the book of Matthew.
24?
Chapter 24. Yes, sir. That's
I mean, you're so right, my deacon, So let's listen, to the Messiah himself.
Yes, sir. This is the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, and we'll just pick it up at verse 1. And Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came forth to show him the buildings of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeshua said unto them, See you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
That's right.
Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of thy coming, and of the end of the ages, or the world?
That's right.
And Yeshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars, and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Praise Yah and praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Thank you for those words, my deacon. And
Yes,
with
sir.
that, we said Shabbat Shalom. Remember, it's still Yah's Shabbat, so
And we have a new moon coming up too, man.
Our new moon coming up.
Yeah,
Get the date for the new moon.
date for the faculty close too now. The next new moon. Excuse me.
I think it's 17.
Make sure I got it right. It is on our. You can find it on our.
I know a website, not a website.
Yeah, but the new moon will be on the 15th.
On the 15th
at evening. Yes, sir. No, I'm sorry, on the 16th.
and the 16th.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. And it's that's gonna fall on a Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes, sir. So that'll be next.
The following Sunday.
Yes, sir. Next Sunday.
Praise Yahweh.
And our elder is actually up to do that. So praise Him.
Praise Yahweh for that.
Yes, sir.
So we'll praise Yahweh once again and allowing us, to minister before Him and before His people, by giving us this body, the keepers, of the house of life.
Praise.
Through His Spirit, we are bold in doing His work. So we praise Yahweh for you, and Yahweh, pray Yahweh keep all of you safe, and and sound.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
All right. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Praise Yah for all the family.